baby Kermit's old blanket. It was a fine morning in the nursery. Just the kind of morning when many nannies like to say,
"Let's go to the park for a picnic, kids. But first we'll do some cleaning here. Get together all the old things you don't need anymore. We can drop them off at the resale shop on the way to the park."
Just like many nannies, the Muppet Babies nanny said exactly that. Hey, this is fun, Fozzie decided. I haven't looked at these old toys in years and years. Or maybe it's months. Here are my old rattles.
Here are some tiny socks I used to wear,
said Piggy.
They look small enough for a doll.
As the babies continued to clean, they came upon well-worn bibs and outgrown shirts and little gloves that had lost their mates. They found teething rings and tiny spoons and long-forgotten baby games. Kermit pulled a small, faded blanket out from under his bed. "Remember this?" he asked Fozzie. Fozzie nodded. "Sure I do. You wouldn't go anywhere without that blanket. You've been sat and waited in front of the washing machine while Nanny washed it." "Well, I'm much too big for it now," said Kermit, and he started to put the blanket onto the pile of old toys and clothes. But a strange thing happened. Kermit found he didn't want to let the blanket go. Suddenly, the idea of giving it up frightened him. "I might really need this blanket someday," thought Kermit. "Lots of things could happen. Why, I might make a mistake and fall into the lake. Then I'd be in big trouble if I didn't have my blanket." Kermit thought some more. "I might get into the worst kind of muddle, trying to cross a deep puddle. I'd probably be stuck forever if I didn't have my blanket." Kermit had almost convinced himself that he should never give up his old blanket when the tiniest voice in his head whispered,
"Now wait a minute, Kermit. If you make a mistake and fall into the lake, you won't be in big trouble. You'll know how to swim. As a matter of fact, you're a really good swimmer."
Then the tiny voice went on,
"You won't get into the worst kind of muddle trying to cross a deep puddle. You can jump. As a matter of fact, you're a great jumper."
Kermit thought this over for a moment, and then he answered the tiny voice. "You're right. Lakes and puddles are my problem. But just imagine all the other things that might go wrong. I might be caught in the rainforest without an umbrella. I might need some protection from the hot desert sun. I might need to escape from a tall, scary tower. I might get lost and want to signal someone." The tiny voice inside Kermit's head grew a little louder. First it sighed, and then it spoke again.
"Now wait a minute, Kermit. You know how to plan ahead. As a matter of fact, you're a very good planner. On a trip through a rainforest, you take your umbrella. You pack what you need for whenever you roam. You think of a way to escape from a tower. And if you were lost, you would try phoning home."
Kermit nodded his head slowly and said to the voice, "I think you're right. I have learned how to be a good planner. But what about all the things I can't plan? What about monsters? Bedtime monsters that prowl in the dark. Weird-shaped monsters that growl in the park. And dozens of others that howl, hiss, and bark. I might have to hide from them under my blanket." The voice inside Kermit's head grew louder still.
"Now wait a minute, Kermit. You know that the only monsters you meet are the monsters you make up? And most of the time, you make them up for fun.
Kermit had to admit that the voice was right. He didn't need the old blanket for any of the reasons he had thought, but one last question still nagged at him. What if I'm alone and lonely? Kermit whispered to the voice. When you're alone and lonely, certain blankets come in handy. Before the voice had a chance to answer, Kermit looked up and around. He saw the other babies busy in the nursery. I know, Kermit said out loud. I don't have to worry. I'll always have my friends. Without another word, he put his blanket on top of the tall pile of old clothes and toys.
Kermit, no!
Fozzie, Piggy, Skeeter, Scooter, Animal, Gonzo, and Rolf all gasped at once. Don't give away your old blanket, pleaded Fozzie. I always hoped I could use it in my games when you didn't need it anymore. It would make the perfect curtain for my stupendous Starlight Comedy Theater. Then Piggy spoke up.
I always thought it would be just right for a fortune teller's costume. Fantastic, dazzling, mysterious, gorgeous, and I always imagine it as the sad on a neat little boat that would ride the waves around the world,
said Skeeter. I thought it would be a great magic carpet, announced Scooter. You know, not every blanket makes a great one. Some are just so.
Fwig!
Shout Animal.
Wait, Fwig! Wait! I've always wanted to use it as my superhero, all-powerful cape,
said Gonzo.
With the right cape, Super Gonzo could leap over large liquor factories in a single bound. He could lift long ladies full of steaming counters with a single hand. He could,
murmured Ralph.
I always thought the blanket would make a fine traveling bag. You could carry all sorts of important things inside.
Kermit liked these ideas. You're right, he said to his friends. Even though I don't need my old blanket anymore, we could find lots of different ways to use it. Just then, the door to the nursery opened, and Nanny walked in.
Are you ready for the picnic, kids?
She asked.
You've done a great job getting together your old things. Now let's pack them up.
Fozzie, Kermit, Scooter, and Skeeter put the old toys and clothes into the big bags. Rolf, Piggy, Animal, and Gonzo helped Nanny fill the picnic basket. When everything was ready to go, Nanny looked at the babies and sighed.
Oh dear, we don't have a picnic blanket. We lost our old one, and I forgot to buy a new one.
Don't worry, said the babies. Kermit was the last one out of the door. Under his arm was tucked the new picnic blanket. But, of course, it really wasn't new. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. This will be a new series created by me, and sometimes I will do a daily poll with the Muppet Baby books. And sometimes I would even do the reboot books from as of right now. Thanks for reading with us. See you soon.
Bye-bye.